Hi, and welcome to Living the Tao.
I'm Taoist Master Mikel Steenrod.
And I'm Morgan. And thank you for joining us on our walk today. We're going to be discussing the joys of Taoism. We spend a lot of time talking about, the intellectual parts and the scary parts and the mystical and magical parts. What's just some of the fun and joyful parts of Taoism and being a Taoist?
Well, that really depends on what type of practice you have. There's always a joy that emerges with self-mastery, just by itself. So your internal world is no longer in discord, and so you don't feel like you're moving against yourself. There's an internal harmony that emerges. For the most part, people have a strong positive relationship with themselves. And so I would say there are many times where people have a negative relationship with themselves. But Taoists in general, after a certain point, have a positive relationship with themselves. You like yourself. You like the things that you've done. You've liked the risks that you've taken, the wins you've had. You even like the losses that you've had. And you sit back and go, well, you need the low in order to have the high in contrast. So you enjoy those things. So there's just a greater enjoyment of your own particular interaction. When it comes to the Four Ascendant and the sphere of the body, or martial,
right.
You learn to enjoy and trust your own body. You don't feel that you're in rebellion with it at all. And so a lot of people, they have kind of a hate relationship with their body. They wish it was different, or they wish it behaved differently. With the Taoist training or the Taoist lifestyle, that relationship becomes much more positive. You become an ally with your own internal self. You have the ability to have positive relationships with other people. As you start, if you practice the art of living, part of that is management of relationships. So since you actually spend time doing that, your relationships tend to improve. Now you can sit back and go, well, I hate the world and I hate people. And people do that. Right? I get that, or used to get that as an inquiry on a regular basis. As a matter of, well, usually that comes from other things than people, believe it or not. So you haven't done sufficient internal work. When you start to have a positive self-relationship, it automatically and magically boils out into having better relationships with other people. So that's not to say that you're going to be on great terms with everybody, but you will be on improved terms with many other people. And so that's another great pleasure.
Is that sort of an empathy thing? You recognize the humanity in other people, or?
No, I think there's that a saying that's become common, I would say, in the last 10 years, and that is hurt people hurt people. So when you have internal pain or internal damage, your tendency is to cause pain or damage to other individuals. Or I would say another element, and that is to expect further pain or damage when you deal with somebody else.
Oh, the hurt from other people coming at you, yeah.
Right, so you expect this cycle of pain and cycle of hurt to go on. When you've done enough of your own internal work, you can see those interactions, and actually what you've done is you've met most of those needs and dealt with a lot of those issues. That's part of, if you're going to craft your own self, you're usually not going to craft a hurt person. You're going to craft a person that has recovered from his or her own internal injuries.
So it's not a healing so much as a reimagining.
Well, I would say it's both. When our pain crafts ourselves, even if we alleviate the pain, we're still an individual that has been built by pain. And that person has a certain range of abilities and a certain set of negatives. And that person, crafted by pain, may never be able to have the type of positive relationships that they want. So even if they can recognize it,
they can see them.
Right, they don't see a pathway there. And by altering the self, by engaging in the great wonder of transformation, they can actually become a person that is not made from pain. They didn't get shaped by it. So it's like a stone getting shaped by water through the erosive process.
Yeah.
Pain can erode a person into a particular shape.
Oh.
But when we set that aside and we say, okay, I need to make myself again, and you start making yourself independent of pain by dealing with the past hurt, that person changes. It becomes something that you are capable of enjoying more, because for the most part, we don't enjoy being a person crafted by pain.
Yeah.
And so that's another great pleasure.
Yeah.
There's the fact that the Tao itself will respond to you at a certain point. So there's nothing like having a relationship with the thing that you actually are part of and live in. So that's always nice.
Yeah. Instead of wanting to be separate and individual, do you feel more connected?
I would say yes-ish. So yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know where else you.
Yeah, no, that seems good.
Like if you're looking at a whole variety of benefits and other things, but there's the daily pleasure of having just basically a more positive relationship with yourself, the people around you, and the universe.
Yeah, and I like that a lot.
That can be said in very short terms, but it doesn't really lead to much else. And I think for a bigger explanation, you would need the Taoist poet and or storyteller to come by in order to do that. So
actually, that is one of the joys, right? Is just the beauty in describing your experience the way Lao Tzu did.
Well, I mean, if he was a scholar from the era, he was also a trained poet. And so I'm sure that he felt like part of his interaction with society should be the delivery of a poetic instrument. In our modern era, we might hear that and think, well, that's an oddity or that's foolish. But actually,
hey,
poetry and stories are the things that last. Art lasts. Other things don't. We've rediscovered the same components of science over and over again. And I'm sure we will continue to do so. But the thing that we have carried forward from prior times has always been the artistic components of it.
Yeah, the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you think about songs from a long time ago. Those are the songs that we continue to listen to and perform. And it brings joy to our lives. Yeah. Recognizing the beauty all around us, too, is something immediate that I think is valuable. Understanding or recognizing the sense that it makes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, you can always participate in the greater joy and beauty of the world. It's always there. The Taoist feeling of a particular thing is always present. So there's not a denial. So as a person emerges more and more, their emotional component also gets stronger, and I would say more resonant. And the difficulty with emotion in the beginning is that it can be used by society to control an individual. Whereas when you get it back for yourself, and we have the term think for yourself, but we should have the term feel for yourself. And so when you get that back to yourself, then really you're starting to define what the ancients of most cultures defined as being one of the big reasons for existence, which was essentially so that you could feel. It wasn't so much that you could think. That became a much more narrow restriction that was imposed later by culture, primarily because I think it leads to production.
Yes.
But if you look at most cultures, the purpose or function of life was largely boiling down to how you felt about it.
Wow.
And it's the same thing for Taoism. And it's the reason that the poetry manual takes the front position for a lot of things. So
Feel for yourself.
yeah.